Thanks to Niu for sponsoring this video. I've always been fascinated by the concept of a fully electric future, and I've put my money where my mouth is. I drive an electric car. I've been doing so for about 8 years. I ride an electric bike. I have solar panels on my house. I've got batteries to keep my home running, and I've seen some of the most cutting edge tech go fully electric. So having said all of those things, I've got a pretty close to fully electric ecosystem, but I am missing one thing that's becoming more and more popular now. That's an e-scooter. Alright, so this bad boy is the Niu KQi3 Pro. So like any electric vehicle, these are the specs that matter. What's its range and how fast can it go? So for range, it can go up to 50 kilometers on a single charge, which is about 31-ish miles. So it's designed to be a commuter vehicle, mainly for people in a city that like can't or don't own a car. It's more than enough to get around town or just kind of go pick up groceries or even go for a nice joyride. As for speed, it's what we'd expect from these kind of vehicles. So for the UK model, it's got a top speed of 25 kilometers per hour, which is like 15.5 miles per hour. The US model has a top speed of 32 kilometers per hour, so clock down a little bit, which is about 20 miles per hour. And I know 20 doesn't sound that fast, but when you're on a kick scooter, it certainly feels much faster than that. And if you're ever at a point where you're kind of wondering how fast you're going, there's an easily integrated sort of screen into the handlebars at the speedometer that kind of shows you your speed and kind of other things like battery life, Bluetooth connection status as well. So it is nice to have that screen there. It is pretty hard to see in direct sunlight, and if you have sunglasses on, also in direct sunlight, you're not gonna be able to see much of anything. But if it's dim out, then no problem. And then Bluetooth is obviously how you connect to their app. So this one that we have is an early model of the scooter and the app, so it might not have all the functionality that you might get when you buy this, but it does give me most of the information that I need. So it'll show me things like speed, riding record, stats. I can lock and unlock the scooter from the app, so if you leave it anywhere, you've got kind of an extra level of security. You can also name your scooter, which clearly Scooter McGavin was the only choice. So like I said though, I'm a big old fan of things that are electric, and I love the idea of a moped style electric scooter, but I couldn't really picture myself on one, to be honest. The idea of riding it on a road, with my luck and back injuries, I'd probably hurt myself. The same concept with electric skateboards and one-wheeled scooters. For me, ankle broken city. I tried to teach my 8-year-old how to ride a skateboard and literally fell off it going down the driveway. I'm not willing to risk it. That's why the concept of an electric kick scooter like this is probably a better option for someone not as coordinated like myself. Though for one, I'm kind of a sneakerhead, and the big flat deck on the scooter has plenty of room for even like the chunkiest of kicks. Maybe that's like a personal thing, but I liked it here. So no worries on sort of scuffing those up. Again, first world problems, I know. But also, I just feel a lot more stable on these, and probably more importantly, right? Sometimes you'll see batteries on these kick scooters stored closer to the wheels or in the pole itself. Niu actually took a page from sort of most modern EVs, one with a skateboard design, putting the batteries actually under the base. The additional weight there sort of grounds the scooter and makes you feel glued to the ground, which is really important when you're riding one of these things. The wheels also help with that too, and typically on kick scooters, you feel every tiny little crack. Suspensions are usually garbage. Niu actually equipped this with sort of wider tires, not necessarily fat tires, but wider, that offer way better traction, way better stability, and just generally a smoother ride. So while I do really like the scooter and I thought the ride was awesome, one thing I didn't notice was the turning radius. It's not a tight turning radius scooter. You need like half a street to really sort of get that full 180. So at the very least, keep that in mind as you look to sort of ride this wherever you're gonna go. So like, I think the comparison is gonna be made to like some of those scooters that are like on demand or renting from an app. And I've ridden actually a lot of those and they're good for certain things. This is a commuter scooter. This is one that gets you farther, faster, has better stability, and also rides overall just better and smoother. And if you pick one of these up, pay attention because this is where you can unlock additional speed on the scooter. So initially you're in what's called like a tutorial phase. It's a hand-holding phase where it's gonna top you out at 9 miles per hour no matter what, until you hit 500 meters of riding distance. Like, I don't love that. I don't love the hand holding, kind of telling you how fast you can go until they say you're ready. But they did want to make sure that you've got the hang of riding a kick scooter before you can go full speed. Once you've ridden long enough though, to their standards, the scooter's gonna give you a very satisfying beep that you can go into custom mode and turn the ability to go faster up to that 20-ish miles per hour. So charging this thing, it's gonna vary depending on what model you get. There's a sport model. It's gonna come in patriotic color choices. You can pick red, white, or blue, or black. It's gonna have a slightly smaller battery, so it's gonna take about 5 hours to charge. Then there's a pro model, which is the one we have here, that comes in rose gold or black. That's gonna take a little bit longer at 6 hours to charge. You can also adjust the level of regenerative braking, which the scooter does have, which is awesome. You see that in most like electric cars. So when you let off the throttle, the wheels are using their kinetic energy. It's gonna dump that back into the battery, essentially charging it while you ride and kind of gradually slowing you down. You're not gonna see like a giant return, but like 4% ain't nothing. And if you have long rides, it's nice to have. All right, so other things you can do. Portability and safety are generally probably pretty important. So it's got a built-in headlight and taillight that lights up when you press either of the brakes. So like I said, we've got the Pro model with brakes in the front and the rear. Sport model though is just gonna have brakes in the front. These aren't like throw you over the handlebars strong, but if you need to stop in a hurry, they will work and you will know that you are slowing down. So the handlebars also are nice and wide. So I've ridden other kick scooters where the handlebars were either too short or not wide enough, or the steering pole was straight up and down, making it kind of difficult to steer. This one, again, was a difference between sort of the ones that you can rent on demand. This is a really comfortable ride. It made it very easy to control. So these handlebars are actually angled back at a 75-degree angle, making steering and leaning into those turns way easier, and I think more importantly, more stable. Also, for portability's sake, you can fold the scooter down, sort of lock it into place, then pick it up to transport it upstairs to your apartment. You live in a city or you just want to save space in your garage, but you do want to do some lifting. It's not crazy heavy, but it's not super light either. It's either 41 or 44 pounds, depending on which model you get. So again, not giant, but something to keep in mind if you're carrying this thing up 10 flights of stairs. All right, so this is a lot of stuff. The price. The Sport model will launch at $599. Pro model is gonna be $100 more at $699, and I can sort of understand the thought that that is expensive, but it is on par with the beating competition if you do cross shopping. And I get that that's expensive, but this is a company that's legit and has been around since 2015, so at least you know if you have issues, they're gonna stand behind the product and they're not gonna be a kind of fly-by-night company and go out of business. Niu's been a pretty big success story in China and European markets, with their users clocking over 1 billion kilometers on their product in just a few years. So like clearly a really popular line of mobility devices. All right, so that's the KQi3. It's a brand new product from a company you've probably not heard of. But again, a company that's been around since 2015 in the Asian markets and Europe, and one that is not going anywhere soon. Honestly, had a blast riding it. Whether it's worth the money for you, I don't know. But it was a lot of fun to ride around here in Southern California. If you live in a place where scooters are popular or you don't want to get a car, it's a really cool option at the very least to check out. If you want to learn more about Niu or pick up one of their scooters for yourself, put a link down below.